Hi, beautiful people, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Heavenly Sent. Um, and Happy New Year's. I hope everybody had a good and blessed New Year's. Um, if you can, could you please hit the like and subscribe button? I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Um, Today I'm going to be sharing about. I'm going to be doing a Bible story on Judah and Tamar. And the scriptures that's associated with is Genesis 38, 1 through 30, Deuteronomy 25, 5 through 10, and First Timothy 5 through 8. Okay, I'm going to start the story. Okay, Genesis 38, the Joseph narrative with a bold, complicated, and very broken story. Joseph was sold into slavery. And the very next verse we read is about his brother, Judah. Judah was one of Leah's sons, and Leah was the wife that Jacob didn't love. Okay. Judah was also the patriarch of the lineage of King David and Jesus. So this story and Judah's legacy isn't as much an interjection as an interlude that gives us a glimpse of God's grace and the amazing ways his promises were fulfilled despite all sorts of human injustices. Okay. Some cultural background helps this story because it's a rather tangled web of relationships, liverite, liverite, liverate marriage was a practice in the ancient Near East that was later written down in Deuteronomy 25 as part of the Mosaic law. Basically, it meant that if a man died before he had a child, his brother had to marry his wife. And their first child would carry on the and their first child would carry on the first dead brother's name in place of the deceased brother's lineage. Okay? Judah had three sons, Onan, and Shelah. Married a woman named Tamar, and was so evil that he died. Onan married Tamar, but didn't want to preserve his brother's place in a lineage. Okay? And because he did not impregnate Tamar, was killed for his sin. Judah had seen both of his sons die after marrying Tamar, so he hid Shelah away and kept him from Tamar. Something like she had a bad omen or something. That's what it sounded like to me. Okay. Tamar, the widow, had the right to bear Judah's eldest son's child and continue the family line. Responded, she dressed as a prostitute, tempted Judah, and conceived the child with him without him knowing who she was. That's in Genesis 38, 13 through 19. Later, when Judah found out she was pregnant, he threatened to kill her for adultery against Shelah, whom she was technically betrothed to. Okay. When she revealed that Judah was in fact the father, he then admitted that he had wronged her. Tamar had twin sons, Perez and Zerah, and Perez continued the family line. Okay, there's a lot of background to unpack in this unlikely story of God's faithfulness to a family. Judah almost destroyed promises made to his great grandfather, the blessing of the whole world through the line of Abraham. God had made a promise to Abraham, and he continued that promise to Isaac and to Jacob. At so many terms, the promise appears threatened by someone's sins. Okay. But the author of this very complicated story is the author of the ultimate story. The story here makes a way for all of his promises, and we are given the free gift of grace purchased on the cross by Jesus. God can and does redeem the hardest, most impossible, most complicated stories. What a gift it is to be his. Okay. Amen. Um, wow. The more I get off into these Bible stories, the more they wow me, and the more unbelievable they are. Um, the part she acted, pretended to be a prostitute to sleep with him so she can get pregnant. That was some desperation stuff, you know. But I guess because times were so hard, they had to do what they had to do. You know, um, it it's still going on. Everything that a lot of stuff that happened back then is still happening today. It's just different people, places, and things. You know, but wow, it was a good story, a very good story. And then she had twins after it. Um, both of her, both of her husbands died, and the men were afraid to marry her, like she had a bad omen or something, or like she was cursed. That was crazy. Wow. Yeah, but yeah, both of Judah's sons had died after marrying her. So he didn't want his son named Sheila to marry her, afraid that he might get killed. Or he might die. Marrying her, and that's crazy. Um, I don't know, me myself. It sounds like she was under a curse. Um, I hadn't heard about stuff like that happening, but it sounds like she was under a curse and didn't know it. Because back to back brothers dying after marrying her, something ain't right with that picture. Amen. Yeah, but only God knows. But when things happen like that back to back, um, we got to take a deeper look, to see what's the root problem. Because, it could have been the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It could have happened to her mom. She didn't know about it. Could have happened to, one of her family members, where somebody put a curse on them or something. Um, and she wound up dealing with the consequences. Well, they could have dealt with the same thing. We don't know. Only God does. But when stuff happen like that, it's a reason. Stuff don't just happen like that for nothing. So um, that's what I'm learning now. About generational curses and how they affect people. You know, if that's what she went through, like I said, only God knows. But that's what it sounded like. I hope you enjoyed the story just like I did. I hope you had a blessed New Year's, and I hope you have a blessed night. Remember, I love you with the love of the Lord, and God bless you. Until we meet again.